Since the holidays are upon us, I thought it would be appropriate to break out 12 pairs of Air Force Ones that were on display in the holiday section at the ShoeZeum. Many of these shoes were inspired by various holidays throughout the year. But before we get into these holiday kicks, I want to review a little bit about the history of the Air Force One. Remember that the Air Force One was first released by Nike in 1982. It was named after the president's plane, and it's the first pair of basketball shoes to feature Nike Air technology. Since the shoes were named after the plane, I thought it would be appropriate to discuss the Air Force One with the Airplane Edition first. These Boeing 27,000 presidential birthday quick strikes were a very limited release, and they were inspired by the actual Air Force One jet that Ronald Reagan flew around in the 1980s, and that jet was the inspiration behind the Air Force One. Nike was thinking if the president flies in the Air Force One, our basketball players should too. So check out this amazing shoe. I actually went and visited the actual jet that was the inspiration behind this shoe, and it was so cool to take pictures with this shoe and a big giant Boeing in the background. So from here, I want to move on to the holiday kicks, but before I do that, I want to break out a pair of low-top Air Force Ones. These Airplane Editions are high tops, and the high tops have a Velcro strap going around them. There are also Air Force One low tops, just like this, and mid tops, like the pair of brown and orange ones right here. My personal favorite of all the Air Force Ones are the low tops. I just think they're very clean and very wearable. And these days, when you walk into just about any sneaker shop that sells Nikes, you'll be able to find white on white low top Air Force Ones. These shoes soared in popularity after Nelly's hit song Air Force Ones came out. And in the years after that song, Nike made a whole bunch of different limited edition Air Force Ones, which explains why there's all these holiday shoes right in front of me. Real quick, I said earlier that the Air Force One is the first Nike basketball shoe to feature Air technology. When you look at the heel of an Air Force One, it's going to say Air on there, but there's no visible air in the Air Force One. That didn't happen until the Air Revolution came out in 1988. I'm going to put this pair of low tops down, and I want to work our way through the holiday shoes. But before I do that, I just want to say one thing about the colorways of all of these shoes. When you look at the pair of low tops that I just put down, the box is going to describe them as white on white, which is perfectly accurate. Have a look at the shoe. White upper, white all around, white laces, white lining, white insoles, white outsole. The shoe's white on white. So calling it white on white is very accurate. But let's go back to the Airplane Edition. You know how Nike describes this shoe on the box? White on white. But look at it. The shoe's not white on white at all. It has baby blue, it has gold, it has navy blue, it has a USA flag, shades of pearl white. I don't know why Nike doesn't accurately name their shoes. This shoe is not white on white. This one is. Who knows? Maybe they'll get it together and start accurately naming the colors of their shoes. All right, let's get into the Air Force One holiday shoes. And I want to start here with this pair. This is a Tuxedo edition, and when you look at the upper of the shoe, of course it's black and white like many tuxedos, but the actual material used on this shoe looks and feels just like a tuxedo. These shoes were not a part of any holiday release, but I thought that they would go great in the holiday section as part of a New Year's Eve, New Year's Day celebration. Nike has not released any sneakers for New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, and I thought it's a really big holiday where people love to get dressed up, fancy schmancy, suits and ties, tuxedos. Aha! The tuxedo shoe belongs in the holiday section. So I started the holidays off with New Year's with this shoe. Another thing that Nike's never done is take advantage of the Rose Parade, which happens just after New Year's. Come on, Nike, make us a big giant float of a shoe. It would be amazing. Let's work our way to the next big holiday of the year, Valentine's Day. Look at these beautiful Air Force One premiums. Nike calls them premiums because of the material that they use, and it also gives them a reason to be able to charge more money for the shoe. And it comes with this cool little chrome premium tag. Beautiful red and white patent leather. Look in the insole, you'll see a heart. There's also a heart on the heel and a heart on the tongue to celebrate Valentine's Day. Nike has not released a whole lot of Valentine's Day shoes for men. They've released a lot of them for women and for kids. In fact, this last year we got a pair of bright red Air Jordan 5s for women and kids, but nothing for men. Come on, Nike, make us some shoes. We'd be all over them. I can't think of a better Valentine's Day gift than a pair of Valentine's Day Air Jordans, Air Maxes, Dunks, Air Force Ones. The men deserve them too. Let's work our way to the next holiday, Mardi Gras. Boom, look at these Air Force Ones. Very reminiscent of Mardi Gras colors. They have jokers all over them. These shoes were a part of a pack with a pair of Terminator lows and a pair of Air Trainer 3s, and these were on display in a holiday exhibit with Mardi Gras beads all over them, very reminiscent of New Orleans. Let's work our way here to the next holiday shoe, St. Patrick's Day, another pair of these premiums with the patent leather. You'll see that it's got the iconic hat and clover on there. These shoes were on display with St. Patty's Day Dunk SBs, Air Max 90s, and a whole bunch of other green shoes. I have 2,500 pairs of shoes, so when I was building the ShoeZeum, if I had bright green shoes, boom, they went here. If I had bright orange shoes, Halloween. So a lot of shoes in the holiday exhibit weren't actually holiday themed, but the colors of them matched well with the specific holiday. Let's work our way over here to Easter. This is the 2005 titanium release. Again, you've got this beautiful premium patent leather upper. When you look on the insole, you'll actually see an Easter egg, and you can see that same Easter egg on the tongue. They made this shoe in 2005, and then in 2006, Nike made another pair of patent leather Easter release shoes. The 2005s are a little more valuable. This pair has a very sentimental story behind it. I picked it up at the Camarillo Nike factory store. And before I bought it, and I bought it on Easter Day, the day before, the store had a contest where they hid this pair of shoes and had the whole staff look through like 20,000 pairs of shoes to find it. And then the staff member that found it got a gift card to Nike. Of course, after the contest was over, they sold the shoes. I was lucky enough to get my hands on them, and they were in the Easter section at the ShoeZeum. Easter is a big holiday for sneakerheads. People love to break out their fresh kicks on Easter. So it's no surprise that we've got two Air Force Ones celebrating Easter, and these shoes were on display next to other Easter-inspired shoes. I had Dunks inspired by Easter, and just last year, a pack of Lunar Air Forces was released, and this was awesome. So think about Easter, and think about looking for Easter eggs, and how it's a big, giant hunt. Last year, Nike snuck Air Force Ones in unmarked boxes with special soles to commemorate Easter. I believe there was 100 of each color, and the soles were different colors of pastels, sort of like Easter eggs. So you'd go to the shoe store, ask for Air Force Ones, they'd give you like an unmarked box. You'd open it up, and it was like an Easter prize. Very, very cool. I love where the sneaker game is going. Let's work our way over here to these Mexico Air Force Ones. These were in the Cinco de Mayo section. And these shoes actually were not a Cinco de Mayo release. They were part of a World Cup pack in 2006, along with other Air Force Ones inspired by other countries that competed in the World Cup. There was a Holland, a Portugal, a South Korea, Brazil, this pair, and of course the USA. I thought these looked the best in Cinco de Mayo alongside Cinco de Mayo Dunks, other Mexico-inspired shoes. Very cool exhibit. Let's work our way over here to Halloween. Gotta love the patent leather premium edition. Look at that two-tone orange on the inside, black on the outside. There's actually two different Halloween Air Force Ones, and I only ever picked this one up. The way that this pair is split down the middle, black and orange, the other pair is split down the side, black and orange. But the shoes look very similar, and they have this iconic Scream mask or Phantom of the Opera mask. Of course, you know these shoes were on display in the ShoeZeum with masks and pumpkins and all sorts of orange and black lights. Very, very cool. It's another holiday where I wish Nike would do more and release more bright orange and black shoes. Maybe for the big three, LeBron, Kobe, Kevin Durant, those shoes would fly off the shelves. This year, all they did was give us a glow-in-the-dark shoe for Chris Paul. I don't think that's enough. Halloween is a huge holiday. Come on, Nike, crank out some limited kicks for us. And let's work our way over here to this pair. I love this shoe. And I had this shoe on display in the Veterans Day exhibit, even though it's not Veterans Day inspired. But when you look at the upper, you can clearly see that it looks like army fatigues, camo. Beautiful shoe, part of the 30th anniversary of the Air Force One. That's why when you look down here, it says XXX. That's the same XXX that you're going to see here on this box, celebrating the 30th anniversary of that shoe. This shoe's amazing because it actually has a visible air bubble in here. So when you look at the box, it's going to describe it as a Max Air Air Force One because it's really a hybrid between an Air Force One and an Air Max. Remember earlier we said Air Force Ones don't have visible air? Well, Air Maxes do. And this is an Air Max Air Force One. So it's going to have this visible air window. It's another way that Nike can charge more and more money for their shoes by adding little bits and pieces from other cool shoes. These are very, very cool, and they're a part of the VacTech pack, which refers to the upper being this one-piece molded, very, very dope shoes. These were on display in the Veterans Day section next to the Tuskegee Air pack of shoes. Gotta love them. Let's work our way over here to Thanksgiving. Our first and only mid-top from the holiday shoes. Look at these beautiful brown and orange colors. Very reminiscent of the season that we're in right now. I didn't even know that Nike released this shoe until one day I was just screwing around on Flight Club. I saw that they just got it in and boom, I bought it all over it. These were on display with turkeys, leaves, all not real turkeys of course, turkey props, leaves. I sort of made a Thanksgiving table with these right in the middle. And then, of course, the day after Thanksgiving was celebrated by Nike with this pair of shoes. They're called the Black Friday. I'll pick them both up so you can look on the insoles and you can see that it says Black Friday on there. Black Friday is the busiest shopping day of the year, so you know Nike had to commemorate it with a pair of these Air Force Ones. When you look on the box of these, it's going to say I/O, and that stands for inside out. Sometimes you'll have a pair of shoes that says I/O on the box, and what that means is that some of the material on the upper of the shoe is inside out. When you look at the upper of this shoe, it's got this beautiful pony fur on it, but I believe that some of the leather pieces and some of the other accents are actually inside out, and so that's where it gets the inside out nickname. These shoes were on display in the ShoeZeum on top of a pile of Nike receipts. I thought, I gotta have everything on display in the ShoeZeum, even all my receipts from buying shoes, and what better display than the Black Friday shoe, because more shoes and more everything is sold on Black Friday. A couple years ago, we got a pair of black and cement Air Jordan 3s on Black Friday. Last year, it was black Air Jordan 4s. This year, we're gonna get Oreo Air Jordan 5s, so it seems like we're getting a lot of special releases on Black Friday. No surprise. And let's work our way to the last pair from the holiday section, Christmas. These are amazing. Look how they just shimmer, very reminiscent of the holiday season. I love these shoes. And when I look at them, they make me think of diamonds and gems and crystals. And here's an idea for you, Nike. Instead of just doing the holidays, how about doing birthstones? Imagine if there were Nikes made out of rubies or emeralds or amethyst or diamonds. Diamond is the stone of April. How cool would it be if in April we got limited edition hyper strikes or quick strikes that were actually made out of diamonds? The shoes probably wouldn't be available to the public because they'd be so expensive, but people like Justin Timberlake would be rocking them for sure. Anyway, come on Nike, continue to step your game up. I love where the collectible shoe game is going. I love that we've got shoes inspired by all of the holidays. Let's do something with gemstones. Let's do something with everything under the sun.